can sit down. You're getting a sticker, but that's not all you're gonna get. So we have a little gift that you're gonna get later, and so we're also very, very honored today to have among us two very important people that work with the police department here and the fire department here. We have Chief Nesky, who is the chief of the Bowie Police Department, and so we're very thankful for him. And we also have Dave Parker, who is the president of the Bowie Firehouse here, like 3 blocks from us. And so we have asked them to take a few moments to share with us a few words, and then we'll do other stuff, okay?
I don't know what to think when he looked directly at me and said, a few words. So I'm not going to take it personally. So I started my career in law enforcement a long time ago. Lots changed. I used to be a slim 165. I used to have a flowing head of hair. And 24 years ago, those stairs would have not been quite so low when I went to sit down. But one of the things that has changed the most is technology. Technology is the greatest thing ever, and it's also can create some issues or bring to light some issues. I bring this up because right now, the field and profession of law enforcement can seem to be under attack. And a lot of that has grown from the ability to share information and to get things that might not have been seen widely out nationally and internationally. So what we're seeing is things coming to light that shouldn't be happening. Incidents that the police departments in some areas are not always doing exactly what they're supposed to do or as good as they should be doing it. And I say this a lot, and I'm not saying it because I'm just here, but we're very blessed in Bowie. I think we strive to deliver quality law enforcement, equitable law enforcement, and fair law enforcement. But the biggest thing is we're appreciated and supported, which is so very, very important. Daily, if we're out and about, we have people come up and thank us for our service. I had someone buy me a piece of cake the other day, which could be why those stairs were so far away when I went to sit down. But at the same time, we can never forget that, and we can never take things for granted and stop providing service and stop providing fair service. To kind of continue on the theme of being broken, there are aspects of the law enforcement community that are broken. And by acknowledging that things are broken is a way that we can fix things and move forward. And I say that because this is an opportunity. And what I try to tell my people and the department is every crisis, every tipping point is an opportunity to get better. So we look at what's going on nationally, we examine it. Anytime there's a video that comes out or there's an incident, and there's been way too many lately, we sit down and we sit in the crime meetings, or we sit with the supervisors and we dissect it. What went right, what went wrong, how could this have been mitigated? Is there a way to change this or prevent this from happening? And in law enforcement, it's sometimes an ugly job. We see people at their worst. And sometimes you have to be a hammer. But when you think like a hammer all the time, every problem begins to look like a nail. So we have to be cognizant of that, and we have to be cognizant of the relationships we build. And when we look at the national environment, and we look at what's going on across the country, and some of the protests and some of the movements that we see, A lot of them are born out of frustration, hopelessness, and a lot of the groundwork that goes into that frustration and hopelessness has been there for generations, be it a cycle of socioeconomic hardship, lack of opportunities, lack of direction or hope in certain communities. That springs up. And I say that to get to this point. Some of the social, economic, and even in the criminal justice inequities, if you look at some of the sentencing guidelines back from during the crack epidemic, whether it was intentional or not, it ended up targeting a certain population. When the low-level crack dealing got the same or harsher sentences as the cocaine folks, that had a disparage impact on certain segments of communities. And when you incarcerate that many people out of certain neighborhoods or certain groups, it's going to have an adverse generational effect. And some of that is we're seeing the cycle, a cycle of despair and hopelessness and frustration that they don't feel avenues are open to them, or they don't get the support, or how do we change things? And that's where the faith community comes in. We are here to help, and we are here to engage, and we are here to speak to people and aid in any way we can, but the faith community can go places we can't go comfortably. Oftentimes, the folks that we need to reach the most are the ones that see us as the hammer, rightly so or not rightly so. And they're not going to talk to a hammer. So what we have to do is we have to keep reaching out to show that there's more to us than enforcement. But the faith community can go places we can't go and bridge those gaps that we can't bridge by ourselves, and open dialogues and point to resources and start to change things. Because there are some things that need to be changed. And President Obama came out with a 21st century policing plan. And a lot of good minds sat down. And it wasn't just police, it was faith groups, it was folks from every different spectrum that looked at this plan and said, how does 21st century policing need to look? And as I sat through and I waded through that 100-plus page document, I was very pleased and heartened to say, okay, we're doing this. We're already doing that. We could do this a little better. We need to change and tweak things. But a lot of the stuff that we're already doing is great stuff. And we're proud of the service we give. But we need to make sure that we're reaching across all spectrums. I hate to use the pun preaching to the choir, but we got to make sure we're reaching everybody. And we've got to change. A lot of the stuff that we see, the people that break into houses, they don't wake up one day and all of a sudden go, I'm going to break into houses now. There's a generational, sometimes, influence that comes on these folks and say, you know what, if I want something from me, I got to go get it. And that's what we have to change. That's what we have to look at, and these are the people we need to reach and give them other avenues to be successful, give them other avenues to earn a respectable living. And it takes time, and it takes work, and it takes effort. And I can say from up here that we're ready to do our part and stick in it for the long haul. But we can't do it alone. Bowie is a very strong community, and that's what it takes as a community. And the faith-based community is a vital partner that we're encouraging everyone to utilize and work with us. Bring us into things, events, whatever it is. If you have a mentoring program or anything else that you see a need for, we've got to have the relationship. And this is a great thing. And again, we're blessed to be here. We're blessed to receive the kind of support we get. I've got some folks that came over from Baltimore City directly after the riots. They'd had enough. said, I need to police better. I need to have a different style of policing. I need to engage with a community that wants us here and is willing to work with us and wants us to be involved. Waves at us with all 5 of their fingers. And it's amazing. You just see the guys that came from Baltimore City were like, this is great. Oh my gosh, I had someone say thank you today. People wave at me. This is awesome. And they want to be engaged. And that's why Bowie, I think, is so successful, because we are a community. And we look forward to partnering with you. And we look forward to moving forward and helping some of these folks that are disenfranchised or caught in that generational hopelessness. You know, what does religion do but give us hope? So we need to embrace everybody. We need to get these folks on a different path, show them that there's a better future and a better way to do things, while the national conversation continues about how to change the profession. Because honestly, there are folks out there that are not policing correctly. So we need to be engaged, we need to listen, and we need to keep moving forward. But thank you, again, thank you for this wonderful day, and we look forward to working with you, and God bless you.
Did you look at my notes before you came up here?
So that's why you always go first.
I know. As soon as he got up, I thought, oh, I shouldn't have let him go first. But you should have a lot of confidence in Chief Neske. I've known him for about a year now. When I took the position as president of the Bowie Fire Department, I joined the Bowie Fire Department in 1985. I'm a third-generation firefighter. So doing the math, that makes me roughly 39 years old. Oh, Father, I confess that I've told the same lie again, and I'm unrepentant for 9 years in a row. Please forgive me. No, so it was 2 weeks before my 21st birthday when I rode my first fire call here in Bowie. I am the president of all 3 volunteer stations, which are right at Free State Mall, the one in Old Bowie, and the one on Pointer Ridge Drive. We have a very long tradition in the fire service to the citizens of Bowie, and we're very proud of that. But as times change, as John said, it's become quite a challenge to maintain our mission and go forward successfully. And so I'm here to report to you that recently, within the last 90 days, through the hard work of our department and the members of our department, we were awarded a FEMA grant for retention and recruitment of volunteers. Some people, when they see the work of the fire and EMS department, they kind of look at us as if we're crazy, and their suspicions are very true, because who else goes running into a burning building? It's kind of like when you talk about guys that are in the airborne, who would jump out of a perfectly good airplane is the question. So, but as such, it's a very selfless service. But as such, it carries some stress and some demons along with it. Chief Neske will tell you there's certain things that you can't unsee, you can't unhear, you can't unsmell, and those are the things that we deal with. So when Pastor Mejia invited me out here, I thought, wow, what a wonderful break from our usual, because we're going to get to see some folks who are not necessarily having the worst day of their life. And that's the folks that we meet. Those are our clients, if you will, is either their stuff is burning up, they are very ill, or worse. So thank you for having us out here. It's also very humbling to sit amongst your children or your grandchildren, whoever the case was. Very humbling. And I'm sitting next to Chief Neske, and there's fire and police kind of go hand in hand. We do a lot of the same things. We serve a lot of the same clients in many cases. but there's also a friendly rivalry that we have. And as I'm sitting amongst the children, and Pastor Mejia, if Chief Nesky starts to come to get me, please fend him off. We have a little joke in the fire service, and that is that God created firemen so that police officers would have heroes too. So there's a great camaraderie that we have with the police force, and we love them, and we know that they love us too, even though we have bad jokes. One of the things that we see in the fire and EMS service, no matter who the person is, what their socioeconomic status is, it doesn't matter to us. We are there to help. We're there to get there as quickly and as safely as we can, but then make a difference quickly in their life. My oldest daughter graduated in May from Liberty University and took a job in Savannah, Georgia as a trauma ER nurse. And when she was taking all the courses and going through her preceptorship to get there, all I could do is sit there and think, my goodness, you're going to do that? We do everything on my end of the world to get them there quickly to you, but trust me, when that 30 to 40 minutes is done, we can't get away from it fast enough because it is so intense, which speaks towards the things that I'm telling you that you can't unsee and unhear sometimes. Several years ago, my daughter bought me a replacement Bible. Mine was falling apart, and she highlighted her favorite piece of scripture and wrote a little note in. And Pastor Mejia, could I read it? It's from... And what this speaks towards what we do as public servants. And it's from Romans 12, from, 9 through 19. And I'll read it quickly here for you. Love must be sincere, hate what is evil, cling to what is good, be devoted to one another in brotherly love. Honor one another above yourself. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor, serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with God's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Mourn with those who mourn. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be proud, but be willing to associate with the people of low position. Do not be conceited. And as a public servant, it doesn't matter to us who you are. We're there to help. And so what I encourage you to do, when Pastor Mejia came and offered up this service as somewhat of a prayer for us and an honor for us, he came to us to give the blessing on 9/11. 9/11 is a tough day for us. We lost a lot of people. But in doing so, it reminded us of the struggles that we face, that we are all sinners, that we are all fallen, and that this world is broken. We need to make a difference, each one of us. And each one of you has a talent. I don't know what it is, but examine it for yourself, and I'm sure you will find it. When you find it, embrace it, be bold in it, and go and help others with it. In my case, since I was born, I was in a family of firefighters. It came natural. But what I request from you is to go out and serve others with all your heart. Be bold in your faith. When you get out there and you're doing your service to others, eventually they will ask the question, wow, why is that person such a good person? You know the answer. You knew the answer before you met them. I know the answer. And you know what? Let the light of the Lord shine from me into every person I meet. And with that, that's how we make a change, and that's how we lift others up right there. I have another request of you too. Every meal that we say at the Parker House ends with a blessing for first responders, for the military, those who have fallen. I ask you to continue to pray for us. We need it. We really need it. So thank you very much, and thank you for having us here.